Of course, you served with the Marines in the South Pacific during World War II. And,
Central Pacific, yeah.
And you were wounded. You studied acting under the GI Bill at the American Theater Wing.
Yeah, just down the street.
Right here. What prompted your interest in acting?
I had no idea about it. As a kid, naturally, I always went to the movies on Saturday, 15 cents. And being in New York, and all the westerns and Hell's Angels and all those great films of the, the late 20s, early 30s, and mid 30s. And I was an ardent motion picture fan. Couldn't stand it when the guy kissed the girl. We all went, ugh. But I grew out of that, or matured out of that, however that one works. But so that was my great interest, was movies. And then when the war was over and I was up in Woodstock, New York, I got seduced into a summer stock company and did some acting there and just found out I loved it. And that was all there was to it.
It's something that, the pictures that you probably grew up on, things like Lives of a Bengal Lancer and
Dawn Patrol. All Quiet on the Western Front. I'm like,
And here you were 20 years later working for Henry Hathaway and Raoul Walsh and Eddie Goulding and these guys. In fact, your first picture, you're in the Navy now. You had Henry Hathaway as the director. I guess he did your second.
That's right, Diplomatic Courier, yeah.
Yeah, he of course had a reputation as being a real tough guy.
Not really. I don't think so. I was an extra when Henry Hathaway got me here in New York. Took me down in Norfolk and then said, come out to Hollywood. I said, what for? He says, because I want you there, one of those things. And I said, look, I can go back to New York and be a supernumerary King Lear. And he said, what? I said, yeah, because that's class. He says, what's it paying? I said, $35 a week. He said, don't be an idiot. He said, I'll give you $175 a week and come to Hollywood. And so I said, get on the plane, and $175 a week. I took it. And he got me an H, and he set me up in Hollywood. The great H.H.
Charles Buczynski,
Charlie,
a.k.a. Bronson.
He was in that.
Also in that picture.
That was our first film together. Our first film each.
Period, right?
And Jack Warden was in it. It was a tremendous cast on that thing. Gary Cooper, Jack, Smiling Jack Webb. It just went on and on. Richard Erdman.
You worked with Raoul Walsh on a picture called Gun Fury, a 3D Western, which is a real good picture.
I think I did 3 3D Westerns, or 3 3D films in those days. And every one of them was directed by a one-eyed director. Now figure that out. Is that Hollywood? In other words, it requires 2 eyes to have this third dimension, right? So Raoul was just marvelous, because we called him Cotton Eye Joe. Because he lost an eye in some, I guess, road accident where a rabbit jumped in the windshield. And he was marvelous to work with. This was a talkie. And I don't think he was much interested in dialogue. He was an action director. He loved horses and stagecoaches and explosions. And he rolled his own cigarettes. He was an old-timer. So if he had a scene to do in dialogue, he'd say, yeah, you're over there, you're okay, roll it. And he'd look down and roll a cigarette. And when all this talking stopped, he turned to the script girl and she said, did they get it all? She said, yeah. He said, print it. He says, okay, we're over here with a 35. Now the stagecoach comes up, and he come to life. So he was just a delightful, tough old guy to work with.
You shot that picture in northern Arizona.
Sedona.
Sedona,
before there was even a town there. There was just a gas station and those are in the days when you used to stay at what they call Anderson camps. They built these little kind of wooden shacks with a mess hall. And you go on location like that and just stay there, and that was it.
The Big Heat, Lee, you played one mean guy in that one, Vince Stone, for Fritz Lang.
Fritz Lang. Then I was this Ufa. Good old German director. Yeah.
Another guy who has a very reputation for being a real tough guy. And I guess a lot of actors
I loved him.
troubles with him.
Well, maybe it's because I was raised by these guys in the motion pictures. But, you know, the Hathaways, the Curtises, the Fords, you know, and Walsh, and these rough shouter screamers, or whatever you want to call them, these ranting, raving guys. I think the great thing about that was, which Menahem has some of this too, say, is that they're the star. Everybody says, how's the old man today? And they're all, you know, waiting to see how he comes on the set, whether he has a hangover, he had a fight with his wife or what. And his attitude sets the whole tenure and tone of the film. So they come in, you know, just screaming at everybody, and they're going, well, another day like this. And the juices start to flow because you're trying to save your life. And that's how he keeps the energy going in the film, say. And so I just loved those guys.
Because in The Big Heat, of course, is that famous scene where you throw the scalding hot coffee at Gloria Graham. But people forget that she gets you back in that picture in a big way at the end of that balcony. Did a couple pictures around, I guess, a little after that that are kind of neglected, but really top-notch pictures. Violent Saturday.
Yeah, good flick. That was a good flick. Richard Fleischer.
Yeah, I guess one of his first pictures.
Yeah, and Figment too.
And 7 Men From Now, which is a really dynamite Western.
That was good Western dialogue. I mean, that was that short, terse, almost Sam Spade dialogue in a Western. Because I remember when Randy Scott, the lead, of course, he's down and wounded, and I finally confront him, right? Because I'm a baddie. And he stands up, and I know I got him, right? I got 2 guns. He's got nothing. So he says, what happened up there? And I say, Pape Bodine. I killed him. And he said, why? And I said, why not? I mean, that's, you know, that's a childhood dream to be able to say something like that on film. Yeah.
Good Burt Kennedy script on that one.
Yeah, Burt wrote the script, and
Bud Bedecker.
Bud Bedecker directed it. And Andy McLachlan was on it.
The AD.
And
Bill Clothier shot it.
sure, William Clothier.
Yeah.
Well, Bill Clothier shot a lot of that Ford, all those kind of action guys. 'Cause he was a good visual director. I mean, cinema director.
That was John Wayne's production company, I believe, that made
Batjack?
7 Men From Now.
Was it
I
Batjack?
think it was, or some form thereof. But I think it was his production company, and that's how all those guys were.
Maybe so, because I've done a lot of things with Randy Scott before that. And it was the Scott Brown company, Harry Joe Brown.
Uh huh.
So I'm not sure which one was the